Alright guys, welcome back to Duty's Daggers, and we're checking out another very cool knife today. This is the Factor, which I already have one. This is my Factor, but this is a different Factor from the newest drop. So, very exciting. I've never handled one of these. Let's get on in here. This was sent to me by a friend slash viewer. Big thanks to him. Oh, it's a purple one. Oh, baby, look at that. Oh, man. All right. All right. Time to be jealous. So this is the newest one, I believe. Is it batch 3 or batch 4 now? It might be 4. But this is the first time that he's done a full titanium frame. Mine has titanium and carbon fiber, and that's how all the previous ones have been. This one actually has textured titanium on both sides, so this is really nice. A little bit heavier than mine. We'll weigh them in a second and get the difference. But it's the same exact design, just changes in the materials here. Same shaped pocket clip. This one's just in Damascus, looks like. Both M390 blades, although this one looks like it's a stonewashed blade. Let's check it out. Let's do the tab. Ooh, it is a stonewashed blade. That's pretty nice. Mine is a satin. Let's compare these here. Let me wipe the blade off. There you go. Same knife. I kind of like the stonewash. That looks good. Blade stock, same exact thing. Just kind of looking around for differences. I don't see any whatsoever. Looks to be exactly, you know what? The M-Lock tab is sticking out a little bit further on this one. It's a little bit more recessed back. It's not below the surface, obviously. You can see how much it sticks out above compared to this one. This one sticks out a little more. I think... Oh, well, this is new. This little milled out spot here. That's new. That's on both sides. I wonder... It's probably an ergonomics thing. I'm guessing. Let's see. I don't feel much of a difference. Maybe a little bit. So, the Factor. If you're not familiar, this is a knife that's powered by magnets. Its lock uses magnets. It's a little bit like an axis lock, but it's one side. It pushes up something in the tang of the blade when it gets to this position and locks it in the locked position. And what creates this tension here is actually a magnet. So it's a magnet that's pushing it up, not an omega spring or anything. The magnet is also creating the detent, and you can actually see it right in there. Right there, that's the detent magnet. Same as the older one, just a one-sided detent magnet. Yep. The little plastic tab is shaped differently now. See right above the magnet, there's a little plastic tab. That is to prevent the magnet from pulling the blade over off-centered. So that just kind of hits against the blade. It doesn't mark it or anything, but it keeps it centered. So that is shaped differently. Looks like less surface area on the new one of that will be touching the blade rather than this more surface area on this rounded tab thing. So that seems like a positive change. The texture is nice. It's just straight lines. Went around the Factor logo there. Milled out spot for the clip. The tab is carbon fiber here, whereas mine is G10. That's pretty nice. And that's still a carbon fiber liner in there. Interesting. Yep, that's a carbon fiber liner. Does mine have that? It does, yep. It does have that. I have taken apart this knife. It comes with a set of stronger magnets that you can put in it. So I took it apart and installed those. It didn't make much of a difference, maybe a little bit. So I have, anyways, the point I'm trying to make is I have seen the inside of this, and it's not super complicated, but there are kind of magnets everywhere, and if you're not careful, they'll zip and zing and get attached to things they don't want them to, and I was pretty successful changing out the magnets, but I've heard some people have some issues, and I can see why. Yeah, those are kind of the only differences. Very, very small. So really just materials. Now, let's feel the action on this. Get that special ting. I think the detent might feel stronger on this new one. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it feels stronger. Yeah, it is slightly stronger on this new one. Let's try the reverse flick. Yeah. That's nice. Still very good on mine, but it's a little stronger on the purple. Yeah, that feels good. Nice big choke up spot. Very roomy. I really like this blade shape. It's kind of a sheep's foot with slight belly, and the tip's kind of raised up from the handle. So you can kind of almost use this like a food prep knife and get almost that full belly down on the surface before your knuckles hit. Similar to like a Spidey chef, how it's a sheep's foot, but the tip is way up here. Obviously way exaggerated on the Spidey chef, but similar thing. Sheep's foot with the tip kind of going up. And that's a really useful blade shape. Super useful. Now, if you've never handled a Factor, the action, this does not feel like an axis lock. It's completely its own thing, and it's really very satisfying. Because since we have a magnetic detent, when you disengage the lock and the blade falls, it just gets sucked in. It gets sucked in to its spot. So when you disengage, there's no like bouncing once it gets to the bottom. It just simply boop goes to its home, and it doesn't bounce or anything because it's pulled in by the magnet. Very fidgety knife. I mean, one of the fidgetiest and one of the best sounds I think in the whole knife world is that ting. There's nothing like it. Absolutely nothing like it. Now, I don't find myself carrying the Factor very often. I definitely do. Definitely don't carry it to work because of the magnets. I work around metal and steel shavings and everything, and that would just get all mucked up inside here. So when I'm carrying it when I'm not at work, weekends, or going out and doing something after work. And I don't carry it a whole ton, but this is a knife that I would never, ever sell. Because even though I don't carry it all that often, I absolutely love it. And it is a completely unique knife. So many things about this knife are unlike any other knife that's ever been made before it. So I never want to not have one, It's just that cool. And it's a great conversation piece if you're, hanging out with some friends or making new friends or hanging out with your family. Hand this to them and see if they can figure out how to work it. It's just really fun. And if you want it to be a user, it absolutely can be. This is a strong lock. It's got pretty thin blade stock, full flat grind, thin behind the edge. This is going to be a great cutter. Let us check behind the edge here. Yeah, 11 thousandths. A little thicker up here. 16 of thousandths. So yeah, very nice. This thing's going to cut, baby. The clip's really beautiful. You can see there's some purples in there that match the anodization. It really goes well with the knife. I think I almost wish the button was a little bit popped out more like the old one. It can be, it's not difficult to pull it down, but sometimes I kind of feel like I'm going to slide off of it a little bit. With it poked out farther, like on this one, it's a lot easier to kind of grab with your thumb. It's not a big deal, but the old one was a little easier to pull this down. And that is the only nitpick I can think of with this knife. I see nothing else. This is very nice. Completely solid lockup. Done by magnets. Can you believe it? Rock solid, made by magnets. Very, very cool. If you were lucky enough to grab one of these, yeah, you have a piece of the knife world's history. And I would not let it go if I were you. Because this is, yeah, Brian Winters has made history with this thing. So, one of my favorite knives. Absolutely. One that I would never, ever get rid of. There you go. Like the video. That helps me out. I'll see you guys later.